Welcome to Lodestar Labs. So think about the last few years for a second. We've all gotten pretty used to AI doing things like, generating text, writing our emails, maybe answering some trivia questions. But what actually happens when AI stops just generating text and starts taking real-world actions for you?
It is a massive shift. I mean, we are literally moving from AI that just talks to AI that does. We're talking about the birth of a completely autonomous digital workforce.
The easiest way to wrap your head around this is to think about planning a vacation. With a traditional chatbot, you ask for a plan, and it spits out a text list of suggested hotels and flights. It's kind of like asking someone for directions.
Right, which is helpful, but I still have to go to the website, compare the prices, put in my credit card, and actually do the booking.
Exactly. But an AI agent is like hiring an actual executive assistant. You say, plan my vacation, and the agent goes out, compares the prices, books the hotel room, emails you the confirmation, and drops it right on your calendar. It doesn't just give you the text, it executes the whole goal.
Okay, so the absolutely crucial word there is autonomy. But what actually makes them autonomous? Like, how are they doing that without me clicking next at every single step?
It all comes down to reasoning and planning. When you give an AI agent a big, complex goal, it autonomously breaks that goal down into bite-sized subtasks. It plans a multi-step approach, uses different tools to execute those steps, and most importantly, it has a built-in feedback loop. If it hits an error, it doesn't just crash and wait for you to fix it. It actually self-corrects and tries a completely different path. Zero human prompting required.
Okay, wow. But how do they process all this? It can't just be one giant artificial brain doing every single thing at once, right?
No, definitely not. Researchers use frameworks like the Tri-Spirit architecture to explain how these agents actually think. Basically, it separates their cognitive functions into 3 layers. The super layer is your slow, careful planning. Think of it as a massive cloud model mapping out your long-term goals. Then, all the way at the bottom, you have the reflex layer.
Oh, kind of like muscle memory?
Spot on. The reflex layer handles those super quick microsecond actions like reacting to a sensor without needing to ping that massive, slow cloud model. And then the agent layer sits right in the middle to orchestrate the two. It's all about matching the right level of thinking to the right task.
Right, okay, but if an agent is doing a multi-step task that takes, say, an hour, how does it not just forget the plan halfway through? Standard chatbots tend to completely lose the plot if a conversation goes on too long.
Oh, for sure. And that is exactly where advanced memory systems come in. Agents use 3 distinct types of memory to stay on track. You've got working memory, which keeps the current context active, basically what it's doing right this very second. Then there's episodic memory, which recalls past interactions, like it remembers a specific website blocked yesterday, so it knows to try a different one today. And finally, semantic memory is its core learned knowledge and baseline patterns.
Okay, so they have the brain power, they have the memory. But how do they physically touch the real world? Like, how does an agent securely get into my email or my company's private database?
That is all thanks to protocols like MCP, the Model Context Protocol. You can think of MCP as a highly secure standardized bridge. Instead of an AI just wildly clicking around the internet, MCP allows the agent to safely connect to external tools, APIs, and enterprise data. It is quite literally the thing that allows the agent to read a private database or send an email without compromising your security.
So with all this underlying tech, how are developers actually building these things today?
Well, there are a few dominant frameworks out there right now. If you need maximum control and durability for really complex workflows, you'd probably use LangGraph. If you want rapid prototyping, Crew AI is incredibly popular. It's literally like hiring a virtual team. You can assign one agent a researcher role and another a writer role. And they just collaborate.
And what about AutoGen?
AutoGen is Microsoft's framework. And it's brilliant for conversational systems where you actually want multiple agents to debate each other. Imagine having a digital coder and a digital reviewer argue over the best way to write a piece of software until they finally reach a consensus.
Okay, I can already hear people listening to this and thinking, well, I don't know how to code in Python, so I guess I'm just sitting this revolution out.
Not at all. The honest truth is that if you're a solopreneur or a small business owner, you absolutely do not need to be a developer. Simple, no-code tools like Zapier or Make.com, when you connect them to a large language model, can actually handle about 80% of everyday use cases. You can build incredibly effective agents just using Visual's drag-and-drop interfaces.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and look at the enterprise impact and how this is transforming massive businesses and supply chains. Because that drag-and-drop stuff is amazing for individuals, but how are autonomous agents rewiring giant corporate systems? Like a major bank can't just run its operations on a simple consumer tool.
Nope, definitely not. In the enterprise world, things get very serious very quickly. Take the FinRobot framework, for example. It's designed for enterprise resource planning, which is the digital backbone of financial institutions. When an agent processes something highly sensitive, like an interbank wire transfer, it uses what is called a 5W 3H 1R schema.
Okay, that is quite the alphabet soup. What does that actually mean in plain English?
Right. It basically just means the agent systematically figures out the who, what, why, when, where, how much, how long, and the result. It takes a human's broad business intent and translates it into perfectly safe, fully auditable, and modular actions across a bank's incredibly complex systems.
And the results of this are just staggering. When I saw this number, I was honestly amazed.
Yes. By implementing these generative business process AI agents, or GBPAs, the FinRobot framework dropped processing error rates by a massive 94%.
A 94% drop in errors for complex banking tasks. That's insane. And it did it faster, right?
Much faster. It actually reduced processing time by up to 40%. And that's because the agents can execute tasks in parallel and make semantic reasoning decisions on the fly, rather than waiting on static, hard-coded rules to tell them what to do.
And we are seeing this beyond just finance, too. Supply chains are seeing massive benefits. AI agents are continuously monitoring IoT sensors on ships and trucks. They are predicting equipment failures weeks in advance, and they're autonomously rerouting shipments based on weather or market disruptions.
Which obviously leads to real, tangible money saved.
Exactly. Companies are using Agentic AI to achieve a 15% reduction in overall logistics costs while simultaneously reducing their inventory levels by 35%. These agents just make the entire physical supply chain infinitely more responsive.
Okay, let's bring it back down to the individual level. We're talking about the personal productivity upgrade and your new digital teammates. Because sure, they're saving millions for banks and global shipping companies, but what does this actually mean for regular people just trying to get through a stressful workday?
For individuals, agents act as true digital teammates. Let's take a YouTuber, for example. Today, a creator has to research, write, record, edit, make a thumbnail, and upload the whole thing.
It is exhausting. I know from experience.
Right. But an agent can manage that entire pipeline for you. You can have a system where an agent autonomously finds a trending topic, drafts the script, generates the custom thumbnail, uses the voice model to generate the audio, pieces the whole video together, and automatically uploads it to YouTube. It handles the complete workflow from start to finish, while you focus on the creative direction.
I love this bakery analogy from the sources. It perfectly captures the shift. In a traditional setting, a bakery owner might ask a chatbot, "Hey, based on these sales numbers, how much flour should I order?" But with an agent-run business, the command changes entirely.
It absolutely does. You don't ask it for a number anymore. You just give it a goal. You tell the agent, make sure I never run out of ingredients. And from that one single command, the agent autonomously checks your inventory software, compares prices from all your different suppliers, tracks the active deliveries, and actually places the orders. It just runs in the background, ensuring your goal is met without you ever lifting a finger.
Which brings us to a very important topic, security and risks, and how we actually navigate this autonomous future safely.
Because we really have to address the elephant in the room here. This all sounds amazing, but handing over the keys to an autonomous system feels a little risky. What if the agent goes rogue or, accidentally leaks highly sensitive data?
Those are very valid fears, and it's why cybersecurity is such a massive focus in this space right now. Because agents can access real tools and databases, they introduce entirely new attack surfaces. For instance, if an agent is reading through an untrusted email, a malicious hidden prompt in that email could effectively hijack the agent. That's a vulnerability known as prompt injection.
Wow, so the agent could actually be tricked into using its permissions to do something bad?
Exactly. And that is exactly why human-in-the-loop architecture is absolutely crucial right now. For high-stakes actions, things like wiring money or deleting databases, the agent can prepare everything, but it must pause and request explicit human approval before executing. We are definitely not blindly trusting them yet.
So looking at the big picture, we can pretty clearly see the trajectory of where this is all heading.
Yes, we started out with chat-based AI, which was just single-turn questions and answers. Then we got AI assistants that could actually hold multi-turn conversations and remember context. Now, we are fully entering the era of agent AI, completing complex tasks autonomously.
And step 4 is where it gets really wild.
Multi-agent AI. Using agent-to-agent or A2A protocols, specialized digital workers will actually negotiate with each other, share context, and collaborate just like human teams do. We are talking about an entire digital ecosystem working together in the background.
Which leaves us with this final thought. Are you ready to manage an autonomous digital workforce? Because this shift, it's already here. It's no longer about learning how to type the perfect prompt into a chatbot. It's about learning how to manage, delegate, and collaborate with digital teammates who can actually execute real-world tasks on your behalf. We hope this explainer gave you a clear map of our agentic future. Thank you for learning with Lodestar Labs.